Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gina, and I am here to talk about the joy in the journey today. I am here with a beloved friend and sister in ministerial school that I am so happy to talk about the topic of spirituality today. The joy is in the journey is a wonderful path that I consider a reminder constantly of all the different ways to get to that place of joy. I believe with all my heart that we are here to be love and to enjoy life. Spirit as us is here for that beauty, for that knowingness, for that allness that is life itself, living and breathing as us. So Joy is in the Journey is here to talk about different ways to allow that joy in, different ways to cultivate in new and exciting ways. So today's topic is faith. And while, yes, we are a network based in and around it without a doubt, it's so important to know that there are different aspects to faith and that people took different paths to get to that place of joy and connection in spirit. And it's a different for each one. So today I want to talk about how you can apply spirituality. What does it mean to have faith? How do I use that? What does it look like? And for this wonderful conversation, I am going to introduce someone that to me is just a gift and just a light in this world and a blessing to me. Someone that many of you will already know well, Laura Topper, who has 2 shows of her own on this network, which she's going to talk about. And I am looking forward to our conversation. So, hello, Laura, all the way from the UK, sharing your light and your joy, your wisdom and your love. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Gina. It's so great to be here, and thank you for that amazing introduction. And I love everything that you said beforehand about faith and how we can use that, build our faith muscle. It's just knowing how to lean in on that. And I'm really excited to be here and to talk more deeply about this with you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I think for me, there is no greater importance in my life. Faith above all. I know that it has carried me, and I know in your life as well. We've both had these different paths in different ways, but faith itself is the life raft. It's the life preserver. It is the lifter. It is the guide. It is the protection. It is everything. And I am so blessed when I think about not just what it does to me, but the fact of what it is for me. And I wish that light, that hope, that love and joy for everyone. And I know you know what I'm talking about. What does it mean to you when I say, what is your faith?
Yeah. Oh.
What is that for
you? Really, it means for me is that reminder that it is not out there, that it is within me. And I think for anybody listening or watching right now, or anybody that may watch this, it feels as if, this conversation is so important because there is so much in our experience right now that we are not, we're not feeling should be happening, and it doesn't feel right. And for me, faith means to come away from living my experience in the expectation of how it should feel, and coming back to that love that I know is always present in my heart. And that gives me, or that enables me to take that next step, whatever that next step is, even if it's going back to bed. Just had to say that. It doesn't mean yeah, let's face it. There are days when it's like, okay, I'll get up, I'll do my meditation. Yeah, and that is faith as well, knowing that, for me, knowing that I can listen to what I'm guided to do, whatever that is, and have faith that that is okay also. That is okay also. So it's getting rid of all the shoulds. Getting rid of those shoulds and living in that just like the name of your show, the joy in the journey, and having faith that that journey, that I'm being guided moment by moment from within me, with my intuition and my awareness that the divine is always saying yes to me and supporting me. Yeah.
And I wasn't raised that it was within me. I was raised that I guess I was raised in some sense that it's all there is, but I certainly wasn't raised with the knowingness of the power that comes along with that beingness. And that's the gift of New Thought. I always knew there was more to it. I was raised Catholic, and I believed in the teachings of Jesus. It wasn't a question of that. And I felt there was more. And, when we look at it as, the least among you can do what I do. The master teacher that he was here to show us what we are capable of. He didn't say, I'm doing this. It is the Father within me that does this. And, the beauty in that, when I embrace that, when I remember that, the gift and the power in that is amazing. It's a wonderful path, I believe, that it is that journey. It is that constant question of deeper. It's a beingness. It's a practice. And it can turn, like you said, the most important thing is when we're caught up in the dramas of life. That's what I often will call them, the drama pool, or the dramas of life, that things that we don't like to see, and they are there. And this past year has been incredible. And still, if you turn on the news, especially in the United States, there's so much stuff going on. And, everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. That's, to me, the ground. It's like the cornerstone of faith, is knowing that there is a purpose for everything. And that it's up to me to not just look for it, but even if I don't see it, to know that it's there. At night, I don't see the sun, but I never question it's coming up. Can you tell me?
It's.
Go right ahead.
No, I'm sorry. There was a time lag there. I just wanted to add on there that for me personally, it's been a deepening, like you're saying, a deepening, to live in that knowing of deepening the ability, my ability to live from that place, or my willingness to live from that place of faith. And what flipped it for me was a reminder from a really dear friend of mine, Reverend Johanna. You know how different people say things in a different way, and sometimes you can hear it a million times, and then you hear it from someone else said in a different way, and it's like, oh my word. Yes. That's gone, that I'm embodying in my heart, and yet I've heard it so many different ways from different teachers, and it had just kind of gone straight over. And when she said to me, Laura, this was about a year ago, not even 8 months ago, she said, and Laura, remember, this too is God expressing. This too that you think is ugly and you don't like, and you're not comfortable with, and you think you shouldn't be experiencing it, and this too is God expressing. And when she said that to me, it's like, wow, where have I been all my life? Where have I been throughout all of this teaching and learning and studying? I heard it in a way that really, it clicked. And I realized that then it was like, yes, I can allow myself to live from that place of faith, because all of it is God expressing. And so it's how I see it that changes it. It's how I am in the midst of it that changes it. And from there, it's like, yeah, I have faith because I know God is in this, and I can see it from a place of acceptance and allowing. Even if it doesn't feel comfortable, I can still see it, that it is God, and there is good in this. There is good in this. Yeah.
Everything in life is about our perspective. And when I'm caught up in the story, it's hard to see the big picture. When we look at a puzzle piece, we'd never know what the puzzle is. And our life is a mosaic. And all we get is a day at a time to see this picture. It's one spot in this massive book. If you took a page out of any book, you certainly wouldn't know the story. And where you begin is never where you end, or there wouldn't be a story. And the gift is really knowing that I am the author of the story. The Spirit, as me, I get to choose through free will what I do next. So yes, where I am today is a result of where I was, but where I am tomorrow is a result of where I am and what I choose now. And in that knowing, there is so much power. But what I wanted to ask you is,
yes,
how did you get to this place of faith? Like, what was your path in your life that brought you from where you were and how you were raised to being in ministerial school, you know, soon to be a minister? What's brought you to this point? Because I know you've had a lot of ups and downs as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that, you know, if I were to really answer that question, it's a long answer. So I'm not going to give you the long answer, because we'd be here all night having dinner. But I'm just going to give you the answer that I feel in my heart. You know, I was raised in a Jewish, traditional Jewish family. That's my family of origin. So so faith was kind of not something that we really, it wasn't a topic that we talked about, you know. But then there were times when my grandma or my mama, you know, I remember saying, well, you got to have faith, you got to have faith, you know, you've got to have faith. But it wasn't something that I was taught that is a key. That's a key to life and to living. Faith, which it is, having faith in that, in the divine, in the presence, in the knowing of who I am. That wasn't instilled in me. So I think it was probably, you know, in many years later, into my late 40s, when everything seemingly crumbled for me. And there was nowhere else for me to turn. So the only way for me to go was to go within, and to look within, and to rebuild my knowing of what I believed spirituality to be, and my connection to divinity, and to, like you've just said so beautifully, and to rewrite my story of what I thought I believed, and to let go of what no longer served me. And as I was rewriting that story, I wrote faith in there. I wrote having faith that even if I don't see it as I think it should be, that I know that it's happening, that it is happening in the divine, that it is already done. So for me, it's been a practice of continually and willingly showing up as that for myself, just showing up as the principle of having faith, however it looks, whatever it looks like, you know. And I read in Emmett Fox's Sermon on the Mount, I think it was that book, or it may have been another book that he had written, beautiful book, which had every page had a different story on it. And in one of those stories, he said, you know, look at a tapestry. If you look at a tapestry, it's really beautifully a finished tapestry, and then you turn it over, and on the underside, it is a mess. There's stitches everywhere. There's bits of thread hanging off everywhere. There's, you know, you wouldn't think that one thing equated to the other. And yet, and that opened my heart again to say, wow, underneath all of this, there is this stuff going on. And it's my work to have that faith in the beautiful tapestry that is that is unfolding and here. But it's not always easy, Gina, is it, when we are presented with challenge?
There's a lot of distractions.
No.
There's a lot of distractions in our society.
That's true. That's true.
You know, that show us what seems to be wrong. It shows us what would, could, should. It minimizes. It often minimizes what I have, and it gives me the want. What I call it is bigger, better, faster, more. Everything is about bigger, better, faster, more, and getting there. You know, and it's never about there. It's always about here. The biggest problem is we're raised to have, you know, the house, the kids, the family, the stuff, the good job, the car, the vacations, everything is out there. But I have worked with, as a life coach, I have worked with so many people that out there had it all. They were the top in their field. They were doctors. They were all kinds of, you know, people that worked on Wall Street, people that on the outside looked like they had it all. And on the inside were a mess. They were miserable. They were broken. Spiritually, they were bankrupt. They had there was nothing there. And I've worked as a spiritual, you know, coach as well. I work with people to say there's something bigger than you. Whatever that may be, there's something that turns the planet. There's that the sun rises and the sun sets every day, and I didn't do it. Whatever that is empowers you as well, because a brain on a table doesn't think, a heart on a table doesn't beat. So there's something within me that is causing that vibration of work. You know, and when we look at it that way, and any person can kind of get that there's something bigger. And when we even allow ourselves to expand into, well, if it does that, what else can it do? Because we're told, you know, when I see it, I'll believe it. But the truth is, you will never see it if you don't believe it, because you are going to create. You know, law of manifestation is going to be, you are going to create what it is that you're putting out there. When you plant seeds of doubt, you're not going to get something other than lack. You know, it is the fear that poisons everything. Fear and faith can't be in the same place at the same time. And we're in a society that fears so much. Look at the medications that are given out. I mean, there are millions and millions of people on anxiety medications, millions of people, especially at this time. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with medication. Definitely, there's a time and a place, and absolutely. But it's not about covering up pain or sorrow. It's about looking at that, what seems to be broken, and allowing the light in.
Well, you know, there are so many things that you've said there that are so relevant. And the medication one, I just want to touch on here for a moment, because we're not trained as a society to look within before we take the pill. We're not trained to look at the cause, to go deeper, to look at the root, and until we're at that point, where that breaking point, where maybe we're beyond, but we know as religious science practitioners, as science of mind practitioners, we know that in the mind of God, that anything can be healed. There is no barrier to what can or cannot be healed, because it's in our consciousness. And when we know that we can see somebody in their truth and know that the healing has already happened. The thing is, though, that people aren't taught that in education growing up. Maybe now that's changing more slightly, where children are learning to meditate. Many more children now are learning to meditate than when I was growing up, and they're learning to relieve, how to self-relieve, how to calm with tools like mindfulness and meditation, which they may not be being taught about God and spirituality and all of the metaphysics. However, they're being taught to take charge and control of their breathing, and slow down, and understand that they can use mindfulness tools, and that the experience doesn't have to have the meaning that they give it. So we are doing that now. We are starting to do that. And I think the more that we do that, the more children will grow up and teach their children. I mean, we need to do that. We need to re-educate our children in a different way. And I think that's what COVID is allowing, with more children being homeschooled. It's allowing for that. But that's where I see that there could be the greatest shift of all.
I think that there's so much to that whole conversation, and I think it's something that's very important. And I think it's, we've come into a place of everything's about medicine. It's just about, trying to, the drug pharmaceutical companies make a ton of money, and with the lobbyists that say, here we are, here's the answers. And it's not to say that there isn't a time or place for everything. And it's okay to feel sad sometimes. It's okay to be angry sometimes. It's okay to feel hurt. We're in a society that is looking for a quick fix. If you're grieving because you've lost someone, that is normal. You're supposed to grieve over loss. And there's many kinds of loss. It's not about covering it up. It's about expanding because you get past it. That's part of what makes our character, who we are. You're going to miss people. You're going to feel lost, especially in what's going on right now. When we see, especially in the United States right now, a country divided, it hurts to see that. It's not normal. And some people don't know how to hurt, so they turn angry. Anger is just pain turned outward. And it's remembering that there is always a choice. I had a conversation yesterday that they started seeing a counselor, and immediately they were given a pill, and they didn't want the pill. They're like, I'd really like to try to figure this out first. And they were, well, try it. It's just a low dose. And I'm not saying that, again, that there's not a time, but they hadn't even been to many places. They hadn't even been there many sessions. And that was the first go-to because there was anxiety. Well, there's a lot going on in this person's life. Of course there's anxiety when you are in an uncertain place, especially when it comes to children or housing and all that stuff. There's a lot of emotions that tie into it. It's okay to not feel okay. It doesn't mean that I need to cover it in the beginning. If eventually I'm working with someone and that's the thing, it's that, it maybe, but it's also going to someone that knows the truth, like a practitioner. where you can say, or a minister, and saying, clear this, help me to clear and know my truth. Because sometimes it's hard when we're in the story to know our own truth. But I can know the truth of you because it's the truth of divine. So it's really so important to, I believe, to see the bigger picture and know that it's okay not to feel okay. And that's what faith is for. Faith isn't for when things are well. Like when everything's going great, you don't need, it's great to be in gratitude. That's wonderful. And sometimes life explodes. And it needs to explode so that better, when it comes back together, it's better. But I don't see that picture yet. So it's about allowing some things to unfold in divine timing.
Yeah, and I also believe that it doesn't have to be about a religious or a spiritual understanding. It can simply be faith in that I am here and I am breathing and all is well right now. And it's taking it moment by moment by moment. And that for me is probably the simplest way that somebody, maybe that even me, can just get back to that place, maybe for you as well, without having to make it complicated. That's the other thing. Just to keep it simple and know that in the moment, okay, I'm here. Okay, I'm here. And if I can keep saying, okay, I'm here, thousands of times a day with every moment, then it's amazing, because by the end of the day, I'm still here and it's still okay,
I do.
Because I think sometimes we can overcomplicate things.
The word faith in itself triggers people. There are some people that, whether it be the word God or the word faith or the word spirituality, for some people, even that can. And, wherever you are, it's just about choosing something bigger, something, but also being where you are, but open to more. And it's up to us allowing that more in. If the room is dark and it's bright outside, I can open a shade. But if I never open the shade, or flip on the light switch, I'm going to remain in the dark. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Spirituality is absolutely, it's nature. There are people that can walk at, to me, you cannot look at the ocean, or I can't look at the ocean and not think of the majesty of divine. There's so much to me that is spiritual about a sunset, about animals, about nature in general. So I've known people that use that as their spirituality, that connection.
Oh, yeah.
But I have never known people that light up
from
the inside if they're not connected. It's being aware that you already are. Like there's nowhere we need to go. There's nothing that needs to be done. It doesn't have to be faster. It doesn't have to be more. The contentment can only be in the here and now.
Yeah, and it's also, we are bombarded through social media with imagery of how society is showing itself. And it's imagery, that's all it is. And yet, if you think about the number of images that we see a day, how many images do we each see a day on social media, online, coming through on YouTube, whatever platforms? We're like sponges more than ever, seeing it all. And in with all of that comes a certain level of expectation that we build in our minds of how we then should be living our lives for it all to be okay, or for us to be accepted, or for us to accept ourselves, because we're seeing all these pictures, all these images, and it's like seeing vision, you know, it's kind of like programming. But if we're looking at it with a point of view of, well, I'm not enough because I'm seeing this and this person is doing that, and I'm not doing this, and I should be doing that, then it can become very, very destructive for our lives and the way that we view our own lives and our own sense of beingness. And I've just finished reading this beautiful book, a story of a man called George Carver Washington. It's a tiny little book, and he was a scientist, and it's like you were saying, you know, we all find God in different ways. Ernest Holmes found God from the depths of his own beingness within himself, you know. Emerson found God in nature. You know, Quimby found it in his healing of himself, you know. And this man found God in flowers, and he would have amazing conversations with flowers, and the flowers would tell him, you know, what the secrets were to life. And he would ask questions to flowers and live the most incredible life, doing the most incredible things, living this way as a scientist. And it really, you know, it brought my awareness to how disconnected we are, because we're watching all this imagery all the time. And are we really absorbing ourselves in the truth of life? Or are we more concerned as humanity as to what's popping up next on our screen? So, you know, but that's a task, isn't it? To put the screen down and to go within.
It's about being present at any given time in our lives. You know,
That's it.
What am I present to?
Yeah.
What am I present for? Where is my awareness? And it's not something, like you said, that's taught the way that it really needs to be. How to live is, it used to be small communities that would come together and care for each other. And we've gotten so big that people are disconnected. And while there's a lot of good that comes from the internet, anyone that's listening to us is listening to us right here.
We're on it now.
Exactly. So it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and it is not our source. It did not create us, and it's not going to make us, quote unquote, better. It's entertainment or it's education. It's a tool in life. And it's finding that balance between being plugged in and being plugged in. Because that source within us radiates when we're in that place. Joy is inside. There's nothing outside that causes us lasting joy. It doesn't matter what you buy. It's just a thing. It doesn't matter who you're with. Eventually, you're not going to be by their side at that moment. It's about finding the good in us. And when I teach it, I often talk about a puzzle piece. And you cannot be at peace until you realize that your piece is different and perfect. It's not about cutting the edges, painting the colors. It's simply about appreciating and being at peace with your piece, because the world needs you exactly as you are. Just like a puzzle can't be complete without all the different parts. It's not about fitting into somebody else's idea. It's being absolutely unique and embracing it.
Oh, I love that. And that is so tied into this with, you know, not looking at what we're seeing on the screen and then comparing. You know, comparison is the thief of all joy. Comparing ourselves to how we think our lives could be better, when right now, and that's the piece, isn't it, for faith, is knowing that right now all is well, all is perfect. And I can look around me and see so much good in my life, and looking for those pieces of joy, of goodness that are here right now. I think gratitude work, daily gratitude, and I don't just mean, when I say just, that was wrong of me to say that. I don't mean purely writing gratitude every day, you know, here are my 10 things. I mean practicing gratitude on the go, in the moment. It's like, wow, I'm really grateful that I have this cup here with this water in it, and I'm really grateful that I have this computer and I'm here with Gina, beautiful Gina, sharing this conversation. And I'm really grateful that, you know, that I have a beautiful, safe space to be in. And when we do that, it's like, then we find that then we connect with our awareness of faith. Because it's like, yes, I'm supported. It's all good. It's all good.
Life itself,
just as it is.
Life itself is the gift. And on that note, I would love for you, you're going to, for those of you that don't know, Laura is a wonderful musician, beautiful singer, and she is going to share one of her songs with us. And I would love for you to let us know a little bit about it. And why did you choose this one out of all of your songs?
Okay, thank you, Gina. This song, if I've got the album here, I think I have. It's from this album, The Gift. That is the CD. It's called The Gift, and this album came through me in 2015. And sorry if I can. And the song on here, called The Gift, is a reminder that every moment that you know, we are this gift, and we don't need to look any further than who we are. We have it all inside of us right now. We have it here, and this is the most beautiful gift that we have. Our creativity, our expression, you know, the possibilities that are here within, right in this moment. There are so many possibilities for each of us. And here we are grappling around thinking that there isn't enough. And there's more than enough right here in the moment. And this is a gift. And you are a gift. You know, and we're here as a gift. And that's what is. Oh,
so that's a song for everyone.
That's the reminder here.
Let everyone enjoy this.
There's a world that lies within my soul, a place where dreams are made. It's the truth of my reality, holy sacred space. This never-changing knowing that I turn to as my friend. I've sheltered for eternity. It's my diamond light within. This gift is who I am. It gives me all and more, with an infinite supply. This gift is who I am. Its love is mine and more. It's an infinite supply. The treasure that it holds is all mine, it's always been. It's waited patiently for me to seek and look within. It holds all the answers to the questions, all the answers love I go within, I know it's all okay. This gift is who I am. It gives me all and more with an infinite supply. This gift is who I am. Its love is mine and more. It's an infinite supply. This gift is mine, all mine. This gift, mine. The gift is mine. All mine.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As you are.
Oh, Gina, thank you. Thank you for playing it. And it's such a reminder for me. And I'm so grateful that you played that. Thank you.
Before the end, I wanted to just make sure people know. Tell us about your shows. On New Thought Media.
Okay, so yes, every Monday here on New Thought Media Network. I'm so excited about this because the show on a Monday is called The Cosmic Prayer, and it just really excites me because every week amazing people come onto the show, guests, teachers, practitioners, people that have something really vital to share and who practice prayer for their daily lives. So the Cosmic Prayer is a space where this conversation between me and whoever is on every week brings out their knowingness of prayer so that people that are viewing can embrace prayer as a spiritual practice for faith, for whatever, for that deepening of faith for their lives. So that's every Monday at 6 p.m. UK time, which is 11 a.m. Mountain time. And Gina, I'd love you to come onto the Cosmic Prayer. That would be amazing.
We'll have some fun. And your other show?
Yeah.
What is tell them about your other show.
So we're beginning this week, actually. Yeah, every once a month we have our Cosmic Concert. That's with me and Jason once a month, where we're sharing our songs the first Saturday of every month, which is great. And that people can come into a private Zoom room with us. So it's very intimate and we get to meet and talk and just connect heart to heart with our songs. So that's for around 40 minutes on the first Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And then beginning this week, I'm going to be bringing the Global Love Meditation onto the New Thought Media Network, which is a meditation that lasts for 30 minutes every Wednesday. It'll be 7 p.m. UK time, which I believe is 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And people can view that on Facebook. And if they want, they can come into the Zoom room where others will be there as well, meditating on love. It's a really lovely experience.
There is no better topic than love. You can't really see it. There are my pillows in the background that I always have.
I can see. I love them. I love them. They're beautiful.
It is. I truly think that is what we are and why we're here. And I think that if at any point I encourage anyone listening, I loved what you had said when it came to being in that place of, if all you are is just present in this moment, and all you do, if you need to, go back to bed. I love the teachings of, Abraham. Esther Hicks talks about, it's like the downstream thought. And, sometimes when we're so wrapped up, the best thing you can do is take a nap. Take a nap. If you can't get yourself out of that mode that's not serving you in the right direction, take a nap. Because at least if you're sleeping, at least at that point, you're not going in the wrong direction. So I know for me, I'm hot-blooded Italian. So, I can get very, worked up very easily. I'm a very passionate person. So as passionate as I am about when stuff happens, I'm very protective, and I can get whirled up. I have to be present and know that at the end of the day, it's all okay. So why am I waiting for the end of the day? I can choose at any moment when I am feeling something other than what I choose. If I am not happy, I know I need to start seeking, I think of it like a GPS. Those emotions are a GPS. So anything that is negative is like you've gone in the wrong direction. If I'm yelling, if I hear my tone go up, if I'm sarcastic, all of those things I start to notice. It's just being aware of myself, and I know, okay, it's time to what I call the check up from the neck up. And do that evaluation of, okay, what's going on here? And am I going in the right direction? And if not, it's time to seek an alternate route. And that can be as simple as just being still and taking a breath. When I need to, sometimes the best thing for me, rather than just a nap, if I don't have that kind of time, doing a meditation, listening to a treatment, because I have all kinds of things on my phone so that I can listen to what I need. For those of you that are able, I have the Audible app. There's all kinds of collections of Ernest Holmes treatments. And I have, or even other people, basically it's just treatments, and I have a ton of them. I have my own that have been recorded. I've recorded passages that I love. I take pictures of what I love. Part of faith is when I am not in the moment of feeling it, to be surrounded by the things that remind me of it, including the people, which is why I have you here, because people like you help me to be in that present moment. What works for you?
Yes. And what works for me is knowing who I am and remembering who I am. And when I come back to that, I then remember how powerful I am. And that's not to say that I am any different to anybody else, because if it's me, then it's you, or it's all of us. So we each have this potential. The potential is within each of us. So it's up to me how I direct that power. And if I'm directing it by waiting for something on the seeming outside to be good enough to make me feel good, then I know I'm not using that power to the fullest that I can in the moment. If I'm directing it towards my heart, towards love, towards that knowing that that gift is always here within me, not seeking it for it to, my life to change, for then it to all be okay, but to know that it is changed right now in the moment. That's very powerful. And I think the more we do that, the more we learn to really rely on ourselves to shift that. Then we're leaning in on that faith that's always there within us. We're not looking for it out there, because it's not. It's not. We can see visible signs of it out there as the effect, and yet it's held as a seed within our hearts, and we each have the ability to turn to that.
And
that's what I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And if so, there are some of us that come across these teachings. There are people that may be listening to this at any given time, because to me, one of the greatest gifts of New Thought Media Network is that it is always available. These programs are always available. So at any given time, when or if people are feeling not their highest and best, not knowing their personal power, there's so much positive energy on this network that is able to uplift people and remind them of truth. And that's why I know I'm so blessed to be a part of it. Reverend Robert has done such a wonderful job of bringing so many ministers and wonderful teachers and guides to help. Absolutely. Much love, much love. It's knowing that there is so much here. So I always want to just make sure people know that this network doesn't happen just on its own. So if there is something that people are receiving from this message, please support the network. Tell people about it. Let your friends know. Repost different things. Put it on your page. Let people know that the good news is here, because there's plenty of bad stuff people are posting. Be the light. I share all types of good stories on social media. I always say, share the good. That's what that's my tagline always, that I put on top of every happy story. Share the good. And this network is that good. And in that sharing, if it's something that has touched you, I encourage people, there's a link, the link that you found us through. On the bottom, there's a link to go to support the network. Whatever you can afford, whatever you may donate, if you're called to, we greatly appreciate it. It is here for people to find that good news, to know that truth, to expand that faith and joy and light, and live in that peace within their peace. There is nothing that we need outside of us to be happy. We found, I know for you, your music, your expression of light and love in so many ways. For me, I use poetry in different, my writing, or I even make jewelry. We each have our ways of finding that expression to bring that inner light out in different ways. And there's so much, I am so grateful that to be part of this platform that allows people to find their way to truth. Any closing thoughts?
Absolutely. So many. First of all, yes, yes, and yes for everything that you have just said, this network, and Reverend Robert and Lara and everybody that's involved, and Diego, everyone behind the scenes and everybody that's giving in on the face of it and sharing, and everybody that comes on. It's one big, beautiful intention for people to know who they truly are, and use these principles of this teaching in a really powerful and positive way. So, and that's the other piece of it, is that it's all within us right now. And I think we've said this here within this time, that everything is within our own. So even when, and this is what I believe and I know because of my experience, even in those times, those darkest of times, where we feel that maybe there is no hope, there is no life, there is no joy, there is no possible way out of a situation, that we can turn within and just follow the breath and know that's where the faith is, in the breath. And then we can visualize that tiny light in our hearts, because there are many people hurting and many people traumatized and in grief and unsure of how to handle their emotions. And that's why they're giving out medication, because it's like a quick fix. We've just got to deal with what's going on right now. But it is not it's like putting a plaster on top without actually putting the cream on first or going back to why it really happened. So I believe that, we can connect back to that place. It just takes a willingness to take that step within that first step and to know the light within our hearts.
Yes, it's all about that place of beingness. It's all about that place of being that light and knowing that you already are it.
Yes.
And when we're not feeling it, I always tell people, reach out to whoever you need to.
Yes.
We have prayer time in the morning. This network offers 8:15 Mountain Time. It's 10:15 Eastern Time where I am, and I know that the math always gets me. I think it's 3 actually, isn't it for you? 3 a.m. and p.m.
8:15. Yeah, that's 3. Yes.
So,
yeah, that's 3. You got it.
So
yes.
Twice a day there are prayers here, and we are here to be that living prayer. So tune in to choose what you look at, choose what you listen to, choose what you focus on, because there are miracles for you in life. And if you're not experiencing them, put in for prayer. We are all here. There's a prayer team here that wants to help you realize who and whose you are, wants you to have those demonstrations, those constant miracles that you are born worthy of. So please reach out. ntmedia.org take a look at the website. Our prayer team is here for you. And, I want to let people know my email is gina@believeininyoutoday.com. And reach out to me with any questions for myself, for Laura. I can definitely get them to her as well. Again, it's gina@believeininyoutoday.com. And Laura, how can people reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook, Laura Topper Love. That's my Facebook page. You can message me through there. And through my website, lauratopper.com, there's a contact form at the very bottom. People can contact me from there. Through the New Thought Media Network also. So I'm findable, definitely.
Absolutely. And it's so important to know that we are all, anybody that you see on this network, we are here to shine light and just be there. No different from anybody else, but we are all here to help uplift you and humanity. That's what this is all about at this network. And I'd like to end with us knowing that upliftment. So just knowing that there is only one power and that one creator of all, in, as, and through each one, that one life, that one love that is, was, and always will be, is within me, is within each one, always accessible, always available, born in and as. And I claim right here and right now that each person within my voice, each person watching it live or on a playback, each person is knowing that worthiness, knowing the truth, the light, that is being realized in this moment, in that the world of our consciousness is greater because of it. That allness, that vibration of all is greater because of it. And I know that, and I claim that. And I am so grateful for the knowing, so grateful for the faith that brought me here, so grateful for the path that led me to this moment, so grateful for beautiful guests in this beautiful, beloved sister that I have as Laura Topper, and for Reverend Robert and all at the network and all of you watching. Thank you, Spirit, for it all. So knowing that there is so much right here, right now, and that it is only getting better, that it's already done, I celebrate it in joyful expectancy. I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it
so
is.
it is.
Thank you so much for being
Beautiful.
here. Thank you so much for just being the light that you are. And I just wanted to mention that the Peace Circle is on Monday nights. Join me. Every week is a different topic, and you can go back into the feed and take a look at any of them Monday evenings. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, and we'll share a little bit more about the network. And I am just so grateful that you were here with us. Thank you, Laura. Thank you to all. Blessings and love.
Gina.
Namaste.
So much love.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.